Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the main event of the evening. MotorMaster Monday main event of the evening from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Round 31 of the 2021 NASCAR MotorMaster Series and the second playoff race here in the round of 12 for these drivers. And we're working stage 1 100-lap event here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And they're all chasing Jordan Dorosek in the number 74 car and Jesse Carlson, the pole sitter, right there behind him in the 20 car. Both of them are playoff drivers, as well as Matt Smith in the 10 car running in third. Thomas Kohick in the 07 car, non-playoff driver, running in fourth. And Jason Doro in the 08 car, another playoff driver, running in fifth. In-race reporter Cameron Norton scored in sixth. And we're rocking and rolling at Las Vegas Motor Speedway in stage 1. These drivers have 22 laps in stage 1. And they're getting about 26 to 28 laps on fuel, depending on how hard they're pushing and whether or not they're in the draft or not here, rocking around this mile-and-a-half oval. Here on NASCAR Heat 5, I'm NOSSCAR CEO and founder Tyler McMurder, alongside my two in-race reporters, my two colleagues here, Alex Tesdahl, driver of the 16, Cameron Norton, driver of the 1, scored in 6th and 10th, I believe, and we're off to an interesting start here. Thanks a bunch for joining us, and we should mention, folks, that the Brickyard 200 winner, Timmy Brown, non-playoff driver, drove all the way up there and took the lead on lap 3. Since then, has lost a couple of positions. He's outside the top 10 right now, but he might be one to keep an eye on if there's a late race restart. And meanwhile, back up at the front, Jordan Dorosek leading the way in the 74 car. 8 wins for him this season. 20 car of Jesse Carlson scored in second, 3 wins for him. Matt Smith in the 10, 9 wins this season, scored in third. Keep in mind, Matt Smith won the race earlier tonight at Bristol Motor Speedway, and he's punched his ticket in to the round of 8. Many of the viewers thought that he was going to get there based on points anyways if he didn't get a win during the round of 12, but now it's safe to say that he's going to be there for the round of 8. Side-by-side battle for the 3rd and 4th positions. Thomas Kohick in the 07 car going to the outside and getting a heck of a push from the 08 of Jason Doro. The top 5 separated themselves from the rest of the field just a little bit. And then it's Cameron Norton driving in the 1 car, running in 6th. Kevin Tattersall in the 54 in 7th. Gordon Roughton in the 18 scored in 8th. And they're all lined nose to tail, just like these top 5 cars are. And you heard it from Cameron Norton, riding on board with him right now. Driver of the 1, qualified in 3rd for this race. Winless this season, one of the playoff drivers. He would love to get a win here tonight. It would be his first ever NASCAR MotorMaster Series win, and it would also punch his ticket in to the next round in the round of 8. Kevin Tattersall looks to the inside and takes the 6th position away. Jordan Roughton draws closer in the 18 car. Alex Tesdahl is the one in the 9th position. He just got a little bit loose coming out of turn 4 there. Had to grab a handful of steering wheel and hang on to it. And we can tell you that the 6-time NASCAR champion, Jordan Green, coming down pit road right now in that Ford Mustang. I'll have to get the scoop there, because we were under the impression that all of these drivers would be able to make it to the end of this stage if it were to stay green. So something must be going on there with that number 47 car. We'll get back to you.
Oh, 07 into the grass.
Woo! Did he ever? Creating his own racetrack out there.
Contact was made up there.
And he's giving these landscapers a little bit of work to do after this race, and he's scored now in the 5th position, but he's under fire from Kevin Tattersall in the 54. We missed how it started, but we saw the tail end of it of Thomas Kohick, the 07, going through the grass on the front stretch. Good save by him, because everyone knows once you get into the grass, it's very tough to hang on to these race cars. Cameron Norton in the 1, trying to look to the inside there, had a good run, but lost it when he came up to the back bumper of the 07, and Jordan Roughton in the 18 Toyota Supra is going to challenge him for that 7th position. And this is the second group of cars that we're watching here, and we have a side-by-side battle for the race lead. Matt Smith in the 10 looking to the inside of Jordan Dorosek in the 74. Matt in the 10 looking to make history here. If he were to win this race, he would tie Noco for the most wins in a single season. And both him race reporters letting all of us know that we have a caution on the racetrack. First caution of the day for an on-track incident. Looking around, and I don't see any cars parked against the wall or anything like that. And we can see that Dustin Franklin in the 11 car is actually on pit road getting service. He might have maybe even been forced down there. There is damage to the front of the 11. Nevertheless, though, caution is out for the first time in this race, and everyone's guaranteed to make it to the end of the stage from here on the tires. That's for sure, if it were to stay green from this point.
Restarting before 5 ago.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I was watching the onboard feed from one of our in-race reporters, and it was saying 5 laps to go, but it takes a couple away, so we might be restarting with 2 laps to go here in stage 1. And Cameron Norton in the 1 car is going for it. He qualified 3rd. He's going to restart as the race leader with 2 laps to go in stage 1.
Bold strategy. See how it goes.
Why not, folks? He came into the playoffs with no playoff points, the 12th seed driver, and he's trying to get a stage win here, which would award a playoff point. They're getting swirly down the back straightaway, slicey and dicey. Everybody's going for it. Up into the outside wall, but Kevin Tattersall, it was from contact with the 1 car, and they're side-by-side for the lead up front. This might bring out a yellow. So far,
I got contact from Mucka and forced me into 54.
somehow we're still green, and they're side-by-side for the lead, going down the back straightaway now, and into turn 3. Who's going to get it? Outside line's got a lot of power, especially coming out of these turns. They get a great run up there. Coming to the line, they're wrecking behind them, but the stage win's going to go to the 74 of Jordan Dorsek rather, and they crash coming across the line.
What a finish to the stage there, side by side.
There was a couple of cars going end over end there at the end. Cameron Norton in the 1 was one of them. Some damage to some of these cars, but what a wild side-by-side battle it was for the stage 1 win. A valuable playoff point going to the 10 of Matt Smith. And we'll throw it down to the in-race reporter Alex Tesdall for the top 5 in stage 1.
J-Well, Flash 9, NASCAR Roof, Mucka, PC Panthers.
It was a strong run for Jordan Dorsek. He almost pulled off the stage win there, and I don't think that he should be upset or discouraged by this at all. It was just a wild drag race. Matt Smith had one heck of a run. He put the nose of his 10 car to the inside, and somehow he made it stick and made it work. Still a strong car, the 74 is for Jordan. They're in the restart zone. Stage 2 underway. Jordan Rout and Alex Tesdall lead them to the line for the start. Oh, up the hill went Jason Doro in the 08 car. He got into the side of Matt Smith in the 10. Matt is now stuck against the outside wall, 3 or 4 wide deep. Oh man, here they all go. They're 4 wide through 3 and 4. Jesse Carlson in the 20 was right in the middle of that 3 and 4 wide. Cameron Norton escapes with a couple positions in hand. And keep your eye on the one of Cameron. He's got the fresher tires of anybody else. He stayed out for that wild restart at the end of stage 1. And a lot of these drivers didn't come back to pit road after that. And if they did, some took 2 tires. And to the race lead goes Alex Tesdall in the 16. Arguably his best shot to win a race during the playoffs was earlier tonight at Bristol, but here he is out front at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, looking good. He's got the 74 of Jordan Dorsek on the outside now. He had a big run coming out of turn 2. He's going to capitalize. Cameron Norton in the 1 got a little bit loose, and he had to chase it down the track, came back up the track, made contact with the 8. Everybody's still trying to work their way through there, and they did.
18, or the 19 came down on me.
Good save by everybody involved. There's still 3 wide back there. We're keeping an eye on the battle closer to the front. Jordan Dorosek clears the 16 and takes the lead. The 47 of Jordan Green is all the way up there in third, and he's looking for second, and he's on the outside of Alex Tesdall. That 47, the red and black and gray car you see up there, Jordan's got 1 NOSSCAR win on a NASCAR Heat game, and it was a Platinum Cup Series win last year on NASCAR Heat 4. He would love to get his first ever NOSSCAR MotorMaster Series win, and it would be his 96th career NOSSCAR win. Talking about the 47 of Jordan Green. Oh, Matt Smith got really loose going into turn 3. He had to chase it up the hill a little bit there. Nearly collected the 18 of Jordan Roughton, and it kind of looks like the 10 is struggling here, maybe even with connection issues. His car bouncing around quite a bit. But nevertheless, they're all chasing Jordan Dorosek in the 74, Jordan Green, Alex Tesdall, the top 3. They've kind of spread themselves from the rest of the field. The battle for 4th and 5th, side by side, is Brett Baker and Jason Doro. Brett Baker in the 21, Jason Doro down on the inside now in that red and silver and black 08 Chevy. And the 07 of Thomas Kohik, we're riding with him. Runs in the 6th position, trying to get free of this traffic. All of these drivers are trying to be the first car in line in this group and maybe try to make a charge for those top 3 or 4 cars. It's a big race for a lot of these drivers. 2nd race in the round of 12. Josh Holm-Diaz in the 7, coming off a strong 2nd place finish earlier tonight. That's a playoff points, 29 regular points, not including stage points he was awarded. And he's looking pretty strong here for the 2nd race of the playoffs here for the round of 12 as well. He's up there in the top 10, battling side by side with Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 61 car. 12 laps to go for the race leaders. That was an update from Alan Norton in the 1.
54 Tanning out in the wall.
Checking in with the front group again, Jordan in the 74, 8 wins this season, 2nd most playoff points when the playoffs began. Had a rough start to the playoffs earlier tonight at Bristol Motor Speedway. Finished a couple laps down and ended up pulling off the racetrack and getting a DNF in that race. Looking to bounce back here in this one, getting a report. Matt Smith in the 10 car had a bit of an incident just a moment ago, apparently spinning that car. And as you can see, he's no longer in the pack with these drivers. He's kind of on his own, and he's now outside of the top 15. And we're riding with the top 3 a little bit here. We're riding with Jordan Green in particular in the 47, and you can see that the top 3 all ran a different line through turns 3 and 4 that last time by. Just kind of shows you that these drivers are really working these cars and working this racetrack very differently, but all of them finding great speed out there, battling hard for this Stage 2 win. The draft is very strong here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway on all of the mile-and-a-halfs, really, on these NASCAR Heat games, especially if you keep the draft influence to normal. And a lot of these drivers using the draft to their advantage, and here comes the 2nd group of cars we were talking about. Jason Doro in the 08 car scored in 4th. Thomas Kohik in the 07 scored in 5th. Brett Baker in the 21 scored in 6th, and they all just caught this lead group, and if they can get hooked up single file, they might be able to shrink the interval down to your race leader, Jordan Dorosek. It's Jordan Roughton in the 18 that's now leading the 2nd group of cars, I would call it, in the 6th position, with Jesse Carlson and Kevin Tattersall just behind them, the Juicy J Motorsports teammates. There's Jesse Carlson in the 20. So the battle we're watching here, 6th, 7th, and 8th, and then there's Destin Franklin in the 11 car, scored in 9th, one of the playoff drivers. Struggled in the race earlier tonight at Bristol. Lost his engine during the race and had to park it for the night, and here he is. He's back at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and he needs points in a big way. Jeffrey Robinson Jr., another playoff driver, right behind them in the 61 car. He's mixing it up with these guys. This is all for 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th, and I believe we just got the word from Cameron Norton. We have 2 laps to go in stage 2. Oh, 6 to go, thank you.
No problem.
Cameron Norton battling for 11th there with his teammate Josh Colm-Diaz. They're the third group of cars. They're just a pair on their own right now. And we're keeping our eye on the battle here for about 5th on back. Jordan Green was in the lead group, and now he's kind of fallen back into the clutches of this battle that we've been watching, and he's fallen out of the stage points area. Whoa, a couple of cars getting loose coming out of turn 2 there, and it was Dustin Franklin in the 11 that got really loose. He had to chase the car all the way down below the white line, saved it, lost touch with the group of cars just in front of him a little bit, but he's still all right. No damage, didn't hit nothing, he's in good shape. And the other car that got loose was Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 61 car, but it was just a lot less severe. He was able to hold on to it very easily. UCJ Motorsports teammates there, the 61 and the 20, and their other teammate, Kevin Tattersall, on the 54, not too far in front of them. All 3 of them playoff drivers. It's been a successful season for the UCJ Motorsports crew. How about Jason Armstrong? Started in NOSSCAR, back on NASCAR Heat 2, and he's made the playoffs in every season that he's entered full-time in. That includes the Cup Series, that includes MotorMaster, that includes the Tailgate Truck Series on Tuesdays. And he's made the playoffs for both the Tailgate Truck Series and the MotorMaster Series here in 2021 on Heat 5. So congratulations to Jason Armstrong, one of 5 or 6 drivers to do that, make the playoffs for the trucks and MotorMaster. Not an easy accomplishment, but he's one of those drivers that was able to pull it off. Wishing him the best of luck as we move forward through the playoff rounds and working our way back through the field. 2 laps remaining. Pit road is closed. Jordan Dorsek is the leader, and it's a battle for 2nd on back at this point. Let's see if we can tune into that. Jason Doro in the 08 car has taken 2nd away. Brett Baker looking for 3rd on Thomas Kohick. It was Alex Tesdall that was all the way up there into 2nd not too long ago. He's now scored in 4th. Contact was made coming out of turn 4 between the 07 and the 16, but they worked it out. They're okay. White flag has been shown. They're on the final lap in stage 2. Jackson Stotts is making his debut here in the NASCAR MotorMaster Series. He's not too far in front of the race leader. He's going to stay on the lead lap in that number 6 car. And Jordan Dorsek in the number 74 car wins stage 2. Jason Doro 2nd, Brett Baker in 3rd, Alex Tesdall was 4th, and Thomas Kohick in the 07 car in 5th. They are the drivers getting stage points here in stage 2. The top 5 get the stage points. Keep your eye as well on Kevin Tattersall, Jeffrey Robinson Jr., Jesse Carlson, Jordan Roughton, and Jordan Green as well. They are the rest of the top 10. Dustin Franklin 11th, Josh Colm-Diaz in 12th, Cameron Norton in 13th. 20 drivers started the event, and giving you a rundown a little bit there on the top 13 for you on where your favorite drivers might be running in this race. Jordan Dorsek wins stage 2. And what a race it's been so far.
On the lead lap.
There you have it. Everyone's got a shot to win this thing still. The 6 car, Jackson Stotts, he was able to stay on the lead lap just barely there. He'll start at the tail of the field for the final stage, but he still has a shot, just like everybody else. The green flag has been shown. Jordan Dorsek, Jason Doro lead them across the line and into turn 1.
3 laps to go. It's on.
It is on. If it goes green from here, we will see 1, maybe even 2 sets of green flag pit stops. And a car up in the wall there through 1 and 2. It was Jordan Green, I believe, but he's okay. He's dropped back into the 18th position. He's still in this group of cars, though. All 18 of them in this lead group, battling hard here. Second playoff race of the 2021 NASCAR MotorMaster Series season. It's round 31 overall here in the season. On NASCAR Heat 5, they're 3 wide. Alex Tesdall, Jeffrey Robinson Jr., Jordan Roughton. Up the hill goes Jordan in the 18, hit the wall, came to a dead stop right in front of a big group of cars, and the caution is out for the second time in this race for an on-track incident. They were 3 wide. Jordan in the 18 got squeezed up into the wall, and as soon as he did, his car came to a stop right in front of a couple of others. Heavy contact was made. It was about a 5 or 6 car incident, and the caution comes out. Second playoff race, and a lot of these drivers did not get the run that they were hoping for in the first playoff race at Bristol. So a lot of anticipation and a lot of excitement for this Las Vegas race, knowing the draft is strong, knowing that this is a good chance for all of them to go out there and possibly get a win, punch their ticket into the round of 8. Well, here we go. Let's try again. Alex Tesdall is in the lead in that 16 car. He had a great run earlier tonight at Bristol. The green flag is back in the air. We're racing again at Las Vegas. Alex showing how strong the inside line can be on these restarts if you hit your marks and be smooth. The launch for the outside, though, coming out of these turns. Jordan in the 74 really showed that, and now they thunder into turn 3. Oh man, all 3 Juicy J Motorsports cars are right here in the same group, 54, 20, and the 61. Great battles all over the racetrack. Alex Tesdall got shoved up the track, I think, by the 54, and a big wreck in turns 1 and 2. Caution is out. Timmy Brown. Yeah, Timmy Brown got a piece of it. A number of cars got a piece of it. Dustin Franklin and Matt Smith both. The Brev Motorsports cars were all involved. The 10, the 11, and the 16. Let's throw it down to the M-Race reporter, Alex Tesdall. Alex, you were dead center, front row for all of that. What happened there?
Ford took it 3 wide and we got turned.
Well, we're going to line them up again. A lot of drivers have led laps in this race, and they all know that they have a shot to win. We saw Timmy Brown go up there and take the lead. He qualified second for this race. He's not a playoff driver, but he would love to go out there and get his first win since that 2018 Brickyard 200. That was an exciting one, and here we go, back into the restart zone. It's Brett Baker and Jeffrey Robinson Jr. using some pit strategy to get the lead. The green flag back in the air, and here they go into turn 1. First laps all race long. Brett Baker is led. UCJ Motorsports cars side by side for the 2nd and 3rd positions. Trey Hollywood in the 8 car scored in 4th. Right behind them, nearly made it 3 wide on the back straightaway. Jordan Green looked like it was going to go with him if he made that move. And Jeffrey Robinson Jr. clears the 20 to take 2nd, and now he sets his sights on the race lead. Here he goes to the outside. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. looking for his first career NASCAR MotorMaster Series win. He's come close a couple of times, and here he is running 2nd, and if he can get clear of some of the cars that are behind him, challenging him, he might have something for Brett Baker in the 21. But here comes Jordan Dorsek in the 74. He's on his way back to the front, and he very well might have the strongest car. They're 2, 3, and 4 wide all the way back, folks. It's an 18-car pack battling for the lead here at Las Vegas. Oh, Trey Hollywood got into Jordan Dorsek in the 74, and he went up and hit the wall. Cameron Norton, Thomas Kohik, Jason Doro, Jackson Stotts, Jordan Roughton, a number of cars got involved in that. The caution out yet again.
I had a hole and it closed.
How many laps to go?
There's 42.
All right then, and they're going to burn a few, so you'll restart with about 39, I would think. 39 laps remaining, and man, it's getting crazy out there. You can tell it's a playoff race. You can tell that we're in the final stage now because the business has picked up. Everyone is just going for it. It's all taken, very little give, it seems, right now. There's 2, 3, and 4 wide all the way back from the front of the group to the rear of the group. It's good action. To the restart zone, and here we go. We're off again. Kevin Tattersall, Brett Baker lead them into turn 1. UCJ Motorsports running first, third, and fourth. Bruv Motorsports cars still trying to come back through the field. Timac Motorsports cars, 3 of them in the top 10. Three wide for the race lead. Up the hill went Brett Baker in the 21. Kevin Tattersall was in the middle. There's still 3 wide. Settled it back down to 2 now. And there was a lot of lifting and a lot of giving there, it looked like. A lot of drivers cut each other some slack. And Jeffrey Robinson Jr. is your race leader at the end of all that. And there's still 4 wide behind them. Through the grass goes Thomas Kohick in the 07 car. We're staying green, and the field is now pretty spread out, and that might have been what we needed to get a long green flag run here. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. had the lead. He led 2 laps there. Matt Smith goes to the inside. It's a 100-lap event, and we've completed about 65 laps, I believe, here. And honestly, it's been a 65-lap battle for the lead. It's been a wild and exciting. It's been a wild, perfect, yeah. So it's been a 65-lap battle for the lead ever since the very beginning of this race. It's been action-packed since the start of this one. Much higher line for the 10 car, going through 3 and 4 that time by. Jeffrey took a lower approach. In fact, most of the cars there did. Here comes Jordan Roughton in the 18 car. He's got help from Jesse Carlson in the 20. Brett Baker scored in 5th in the 21. Jason Doro in the 08 car has got involved in the last 2 of these on-track incidents that have brought out a caution, but now he's back up into 6th. And he's right there with these guys. In-race reporter Cameron Norton in 7th. And then Jordan Dorosek, arguably the quickest car on the racetrack, is scored in 8th, trying to work his way forward. Josh Colombiez is in 9th, and how about Jackson Stotts, folks? The 6th car, all the way up there and inside the top 10, making his debut here in the NASCAR MotorMaster Series. He was supposed to make a start earlier tonight at Bristol, but confusion happened there, and it could have been my fault on my end, but here he is, putting on a good show for the viewers here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. He's been wanting to be a NASCAR driver for a little while now. He's been giving our posts and videos a thumbs up for quite some time, and he's fitting in very well here. He's in the top 10, and he's been on the lead lap all race long. He's in a good group of cars to be in. Oh, Jason Doro in the 08 car got really out of shape right in front of him, and around goes the 6. He couldn't miss him. Oh, and that is a heartbreaker. We were just talking about how good Jackson was doing, and he was all the way up there in the top 10. We're staying green, it looks like. He might need a caution to get back up there. Throwing it down to the in-race reporter, Cameron Norton. Cameron, you might have had a better view of what happened there. What happened to the 08?
It looked like he got loose and just hit me, and then chain reaction behind him hit him and just spun him. I saw him get really loose, and I thought he corrected it, and we were just going 3-4 wide there. So it kind of was a bad deal for him.
No doubt, and yeah, it's a shame. Hopefully he can get back up there, making his debut, and everybody wants to do well in their debut. So good luck to Jackson for the rest of this race in that 6 car, and good luck to Jason Doro in the 08 as well. Handling issues maybe for that Chevy Camaro. Matt Smith leading this race, but it's Jeffrey Robinson Jr. stored in second. He's going for his first ever NASCAR MotorMaster Series win. He's also a playoff driver, and he's wheeling it here, folks. Everyone else is having a tough time keeping with the 10, but Jeffrey is right there. He's running a different line. He's not relying on the draft through the corners as much as some of these other drivers were trying to do. He's running his own line, using the draft on the straightaways, and he's staying right there with the 10 car. Very impressive. What a drive for Jeffrey. Like I said, he's one of the playoff drivers, and looking for his first ever NASCAR MotorMaster Series win. It would punch his ticket into the round of 8.
Been very, very fast. Oh, the 18 sideways.
And a big wreck in the corner there. Yep, Jordan Roughton, rather. Out of shape in the turn. Kevin Tattersall, Timmy Brown, Jason Armstrong, they had nowhere to go. Contact was made, and the caution comes out. What this does, though, is it saves Jackson Stotts in the 6 car. Here you see him. He's still on the lead lap. He'll be able to come down pit road, take on tires, and try to get that track position back. He drove all the way up into the top 10. Well, it's been a wild one. They're all chasing the 2020 NASCAR Platinum Cup Series champion, Matt Smith, in the 10 car. We've had a lot of different leaders in this race, a lot of different lead changes. We've seen 2 and 3, 4 wide action all race long, folks. They have not toned it down a single bit. It's been a 70-lap battle for the lead since the drop of the green flag, and we're going again, folks. And in-race reporter Alex Tesdall, driver of the 16, notifying us that we have 25 laps remaining here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Round 31 of the 2021 NASCAR MotorMaster Series season, hosted here on NASCAR Heat 5, and it is the second playoff race here in the round of 12. Jordan Dorsett going for the lead on the outside, and he's getting a push from 2 Juicy J Motorsports cars. Jeffrey in the 61, Jesse in the 20. Jesse's going to tuck in line in 4th, but Jeffrey Robinson Jr. goes back to the line that he likes, which is that middle groove, and he's looking for the lead on Jordan Dorsett, rather. He's got a good drafting partner behind him. The 10 car was working with him a little bit there, but now he's got a bit of a run, and he's looking for the 2nd position. He's there. He's got a nose to the inside of the 61 machine. Oh, it looked like Carlson in the 20, that lime green car, looked like he wasn't sure of where to go there, what line to take. He's going to stay on the outside, I believe, for the back straightaway. The leader, Jordan Dorsett, got really loose coming out of turn 2. The draft help that Jesse was able to give the 61 keeps Jeffrey in 2nd, and they're still side by side for 3rd and 4th. 2 and 3 wide, so many different lines being used there, and to the inside for the lead goes Jeffrey in the 61 car. His teammate Jesse Carlson right there with him, and now he's got a bumper to the outside of the 61 though. So now it's a battle between teammates for 2nd. He was working with them for a while, but now he's going to work against them, and Jesse Carlson going for the lead. He takes 2nd, and so you got to get clear of some of this traffic before you can try to challenge for the lead. So it's a one step at a time process. It's a high-speed chess match. This car goes here, you should maybe move your car here, and See, it becomes really exciting as the laps wind down.
I've been really watching these drivers. They take 1 and 2, they go to the high line, and then 3 and 4, they go to the bottom.
Yeah, many of these drivers have been doing that, and some of them have been venturing towards the top in 3 and 4 at times, and that's mostly the 10 car. You're right, Brett Baker spins in the 21. Oh, playoff driver hard into the inside wall, and that's coming out of turn 2 over there. We're staying green. It's a solo car spin. He was, there was contact made. He was given some help to get down there, but I didn't see exactly how it started. Well, let's reset things a little bit here for you. It's Jordan Dorsek, Jesse Carlson, Jeffrey Robinson Jr., Matt Smith, Josh Colm-Diaz, the top 5.
Oh, what a...
Kevin Tattersall right there in the 6th position. Thomas Kohick is in the 7th position. The top 2 are driving away a little bit, but it doesn't last long. The second group, they start to see that. They work together for a couple of laps, and then before you know it, they're right back there on the back bumper of the top 2, and it's kind of what we're seeing here. Matt Smith, Jeffrey Robinson Jr., Josh Colm-Diaz, they're staying in the same line through every turn, and you can tell that they're kind of trying to get something orchestrated to work towards those top 2, and they're there once again. It's a 7-car battle for the lead. Jason Doro in the 08 car runs in 8th, and he's trying to join him. Jackson Stotts in the 6th car is back up into 9th. He's driven himself back into the top 10 2 different times today. And it's Dustin Franklin in the 11 car right behind him, rounding out the top 10. Matt Smith with a big move to the outside of Jesse Carlson. There's some speed to be found up there. And so every now and then you see one of these cars peek their nose to the outside of somebody, and if they get a good enough run, that inside car, they have no choice but to lift and give the spot to them, or they're going to come up the track and make contact with them. So there's some grip up there. Matt Smith was able to complete the pass on Jesse Carlson for second. He worked his way around the outside. He did the same for Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 61. And Kevin Tattersall in the 54 was looking to the outside of Jeffrey to try to do the same. Kevin just took 5th place away from Josh Colm-Diaz a moment ago. And Trey Hollywood is off the racetrack and motionless on pit road. It appears that he's done for the day here at Las Vegas. I didn't see exactly what triggered that. To the inside of Josh Colm-Diaz goes Thomas Kohick. This is a battle for position inside the top 10. The battle for the lead is heating up. The 74 and the 10. Can't fit more than a few sheets of paper between them, especially that last time through turns 1 and 2. And now this time going into turn 3, it looked like Matt Smith in the 10 was trying to make a big move to the inside. Jordan shut the door, and that allowed Jesse Carlson in the 20 and Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 61 to close back in. Top 4 driving away a little bit. Kevin Tattersall scored in 5th, looking to get some draft help there from Josh in the 7, Thomas in the 07. And maybe Jason Doro in the 08 as well, if they can get grouped up. The high line is being 13 laps to go. Getting the update there from Cameron Norton, driver of the 1. And whoa, Jesse Carlson in the 20 got really loose coming out of turn 4 that last time by. Kind of looked like Jeffrey in the 61 had to lift just a little bit. That slowed up their run on their momentum a little bit. Jordan Green just came out of the pits. Splash and go, maybe some right sides for the driver of the 47. And we should keep an eye on this second group. They're beginning to reel in the top 4. Kevin in the 54 runs in 5th. Josh in the 7. Thomas in the 07. 6th and 7th positions on the racetrack respectively, and they're all working together a little bit here to try to gain some ground on the front 4. Leaders working their way to the inside of Brett Baker. We saw him solo spin about 10 laps ago, and since then he's just been on his own with no drafting help, a little bit of front end damage as well, so he's off the pace and he's just letting these drivers go by. But man, that must feel terrible for him to have to do that. He's currently scored an 18th, first car 1 lap down, and he is a playoff driver, so he needs a good run here tonight. Oh, and problems there. Jesse Carlson got loose and happened right in front of Jeffrey Robinson Jr. Jeffrey had nowhere to go. Pardon me, ran into the back bumper of the 20 car and around the 61 went. And man, that is a heartbreaker. Jeffrey was having maybe the strongest race he's had all season long, and he had a shot for the win here tonight. He's bringing it to pit road, and I can only imagine the disappointment that's going on through the mind there of Jeffrey Robinson Jr., former NASCAR champion on NASCAR 15, entered the playoffs here for the MotorMaster Series with high hopes. He's had a strong season, but not the run he was hoping for here in Las Vegas. It was up until this point. The battle for the lead is on. Matt Smith to the inside of Jordan Dorosek, and Jesse Carlson has a front row seat for the battle. See, it's the outside line that seems to have the speed advantage at this point in the race. I don't know if it was like that all race long or not, but it's been really tough for Matt in that 10 car to make it stick on the bottom and complete that pass. And throwing it down to the InRace reporter, Cameron Norton. Cameron, how many laps do we have left?
Let me get to the line here.
What lap are you on?
Leaders.
Just hit X.
I am on 93.
Perfect. 8 laps remaining here, and the leaders are going through 3 and 4, coming around to 7 laps to go when they hit the start-finish line. Jordan's trying desperately to hold off Matt Smith in the 10. They combined for 17 wins this season in the first 30 races. 9 for Matt Smith in the 10, 8 for Jordan in the 74. They're both trying to reach Noco's record for most wins in a single season, which is 10, held by Noco last year on NASCAR Heat 4. And he's there, door to door through 3 and 4. 6 to go and they hit the line. And it's a drag race again. We've seen these two drag race it to the start-finish line for the win on a couple of different occasions here this season. If you've been following the 2021 MotorMaster Series season on the NOSSCAR YouTube channel, you would know that, and you would know that these two are arguably the 2 biggest favorites to win the championship this year. And they're having another battle of the ages here for the win at Las Vegas. Behind them, Kevin Tattersall has taken the 3rd position away from Jesse Carlson in the 20. Jason Doro in the 08 has moved into 4th. Jesse Carlson has slipped back into the 5th position. And Josh Colm Diaz in the 7 is scored in 6th. And a problem for Jordan Dorosek. He's coming to pit road, folks. Yeah, the tires have worn out on these cars. The 74 down pit road. The 20 comes down pit road. And I think Josh Colm Diaz in the 7 as well. Timmy Brown got a little loose coming to pit road there. He made it, but went for a bit of a slide on his way in. Pit stops late in the race, and this could shake up everything. We're going to keep our eye on the leaders and where they're going to come out after the green flag cycle of pit stops. I'm assuming it's going to be for right sides and a splash of fuel, and that's it. Matt Smith in the 10 car surrenders the race lead. Alex Tesdall in the 16. His teammate is going to come to pit road as well. And we'll have to reset the running order here when we get an update.
And the 54's in the lead. Can he make it?
Wow, and he's trying. He would love to, that's for sure. And he's definitely known for the type of driver that's very good at saving his equipment, saving his tires, good throttle control. They call him the Iceman for a reason. Kevin Tattersall, 3 wins this season. Came into the playoffs with high hopes and high confidence to make it all the way to the championship 4. And by the stats, by the numbers,
he made it.
It's pretty obvious that he's a top 5 driver this season. And folks, he's done it. The tires made it. It's official. The checkered flag waves. Kevin Tattersall wins at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
How did he manage those tires?
I don't believe it. Make sure you take photos of the results for me, guys, and give us a rundown on the top 5, top 10 finishers if you can.
Taddy, Armstrong, Dust Bunnies, Buckup Flash.
How about that? Armstrong in the 12 car lost the draft early in the final stage, came to pit road early, I do believe, and he finishes in 2nd. What an amazing run it was for him, and he's a playoff driver. He needed that is for sure. What a wild race it was. 2, 3, and 4 wide action from the very start to the very end. And it came down to a green flag run that was about 27 laps. And these drivers were that close on their tires to the point where some of them had to come down pit road and get right sides and a half a can of fuel. Maybe even no fuel. They just needed the right sides. And that opened the door for some strategy on pit road in the final stage. And when it was all said and done, it was Kevin Tattersall for Juicy J Motorsports picking up the win. 4th win of the season, and he is locked into the round of 8. Post-race interviews coming up, folks. And fastest lap of the race goes to the 18 of Jordan Roughton. 2nd quickest was Jason Doro in that 08 car. Honestly, all of these drivers were running very similar lap times here on these preset sliders. And once again, congratulations to your race winner, Kevin Tattersall. Stick around, folks. Post-race interviews coming up right now. All right, folks, let the post-race party begin. We're going to begin the post-race interviews with the driver who finished in the 5th position, and that is the driver who won the race earlier tonight at Bristol, driver the number 10, Matt Smith, 2020 NASCAR Platinum Cup Series champion. Let's confirm, you're in here, correct? Ah, okay, perfect.
Yeah, I'm here.
Joining me now is Matt Smith, driver of the 10, parking it at the end of the day here at Las Vegas in 5th place. Matt, you had the lead there. Well, actually, you were battling for the lead with Jordan Dorsek in the 74, but then all of a sudden Jordan went to pit road, Josh in the 7, Jason the 08, everybody went to pit road it seemed, and then you followed the next lap or the lap after that. Did you know that the tires were not going to make it, so you were pushing hard the whole run anyways, or were you trying to conserve them as you were going along?
I wasn't ever trying to conserve. At one point, I think with 8 or 9 laps ago, it looked like, by how much the right rear was wearing for me, I felt like I could make it. And I was a little bit undisciplined there. A couple laps, I tried to get around the 74, and I had a good run, and we were having a hell of a battle, but I think it ate up both of our tires enough that we couldn't make it.
It was one heck of a battle out there, that's for sure. And honestly, I wanted to ask you this. How was the race from your perspective? We saw it all out there. Long runs, short runs, 2, 3, 4 wide. So many different leaders, so many different grooves and lines through the turns were working. Seemed like you really had the high line working well for yourself and that number 10 car. What was it like out there?
Oh, I mean, it was a lot of fun. Running the high line like that, you can't really do that kind of stuff on a custom setup, so it was kind of fun, and just had to be smart about choosing the top or the bottom depending on how many cars are in front of you. There's a number of times side by side went wrong, and if you were riding the outside behind them, you got the bad end of the deal there. So I guess I was having a lag problem a little bit, and I decided to drop to the back. Didn't want to mess up anyone's stage 2. Was hoping the reset would kind of get rid of that, and luckily it did, and we were able to get right back to the front. Just a couple percentage points away from getting that win, but congrats to Taddy. He deserved it. He ran a great race tonight.
And congrats to you as well. Another solid run to start your playoff campaign, and with your win earlier tonight, you're locked into the round of 8. So good job on 2 very good runs here tonight in the MotorMaster playoffs.
All right, thank you.
And moving forward, the driver in the number 11 Chevy Camaro, and that is Dustin Franklin, finishes this race in the 4th position. Dustin, it was an eventful race for you. You were going from the back to the front a lot, but honestly, a lot of these drivers were. It seemed like it was an 18-car battle for the lead from start to finish. Did I sum it up right? And how was your car feeling for you out there in this race?
Well, my car was trash. I don't know what I did, but I didn't do it right. And I got probably like 15 to go. I was like, I'm going to try to stretch it. Ended up blowing the right rear on the going into turn 3 on the last lap, and I guess I should have sent it down pit road so I wouldn't have lost another position, but I didn't know what the rule on that was, so I just stayed on the track, and by that point everybody else had pitted, was a lap down, so I wasn't going to lose anything else.
What was your... Sorry, go on.
No, you go ahead.
I was just going to ask, what was your mindset going into this race? You had a bit of a rough start to the playoffs earlier tonight at Bristol when the engine blew on you. What was your mindset coming into this race? Were you kind of attacking this race, trying to get as many points as you could, or did you approach this kind of with a level-headed mind?
Well, I knew that crappy engine I had at Bristol, I don't know what the deal with it was, but I knew with that happening that I was already going to be behind, and so it was pretty much I was kind of attacking, just try to get to the front and get as many points as possible. But for whatever reason, I think at one point I got to 6, but it was because people reckoned. But other than that, I just could not get past like 10th or 11th, and that's why I got to the end there and made the call. It's like, oh, I'm either gonna save tires or spin out doing it. And fortunately, when it spun out doing it, everybody else was a lap down.
Well, you look like a hero. It was a great strategy in the final stage to pull off a top 5 finish, and you needed it. You earned it. Good top 5 points for you. Congratulations on your 4th place finish.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
And Jason Doro, driver of the 08 Chevy Camaro, Another driver that's in the playoffs that had a bit of a rough start to the playoffs earlier tonight at Bristol and came back strong here at Las Vegas, folks. First of all, Jason, congratulations on your third place finish. It's a playoff point for you, and those carry over from each playoff round to the next. So that will stay with you all the way until the end of the playoffs. How did the car feel for you out there, and how were you able to make sure that you could keep the tires on that car all the way throughout that last 26, 27 lap run?
It was rough. It was a rough night for the 08. Like you touched on, I got put into the pits at Bristol. First 10 laps, went 2 laps down, fought my way back at 13. Moved to Vegas, had a super fast car, finished second that first stage, I believe. Was right there in the mix, top 5 for the second stage. Was working my way back through the field after a couple incidents. Figured I'd stay out, my right front was running pretty low, kind of blew going into 4. Went down below the apron to let everybody go. Next thing I know, a car rear-ended me at like 200 below the apron, sent me back up into the track, caused a bunch of mayhem. Just kind of limped it over the line, ended up with third. So it's a good points day, I guess. Just a rough night on the track.
Thankfully for you, you entered the playoffs with a decent amount of playoff points. I do believe that you were the 4th or 5th seed in terms of playoff points coming into the 7-race playoff system. What do you think of your chances for the rest of the round of 12? And are you looking forward to that last race in the round of 12 coming up at the Charlotte Roval?
One race at a time, Ty. One race at a time.
I like that. I like that. Congratulations on your third place finish and the playoff point.
Thanks, Ty.
All right, folks. We're almost there. And does Jason Armstrong have a copy?
He's not in here, Ty.
Ah, that's a shame. And he's not one to do post-race interviews, so I was hoping he was going to accept the invitation on this one because, man, what a drive for him. And congratulations to Armstrong, who finishes in second in tonight's race at Las Vegas. And on to victory lane we go, folks. Juicy J Motorsports driver Kevin Tattersall parked in victory lane here, celebrating with the number 54 team. 4th win of the season, locked into the next round, into the round of 8. That's got to feel good, right?
Yeah, that's probably the best part of it. Getting locked in is always a promising thing, especially with the road course coming up next week. Again, I spoke on it earlier, but it's a tough first round. Vegas was definitely going to be my best shot at a win, and I hate winning like that on tire strategy, but I figured I was in about 6th place. Somebody else was going to do it, so why can't it be me?
And it was a gamble either way, though, because if you lift a lot and try to save those tires and a caution comes out, you just wasted the whole run and lost all that track position, and then you've only got a handful of laps to get it back. So good on you for going for it. You parked it in victory lane. It was clearly the right call. Describe the race for you from start to finish. We saw a bit of everything, 2, 3, and 4 wide, some crashes here and there. Sum up the race from your perspective behind the wheel of that 54 car.
Crazy. I mean, I was running up in the top 5, top 6, and then I'd get involved in an incident where somebody would get underneath you. It'd put you in the wall, like off turn 4. And honestly, I wasn't even trying to race for myself this one. I thought NASCAR Roof, I figured he'd be my teammate over there at DCJ. I figured he's got a pretty good chance with next week being a road course on getting a win. But Juicy was running up there himself up in the top 5 for a good portion of the race.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was actually talking to the guys, him, PC Panther, NASCAR Roof. I was talking to them all, just trying to get them to I was trying to push Juicy to the win when he was in that position. And honestly, the tire saving, it actually came to me because I was running in about 11th on that final restart. And everybody was going 3 and 4 wide, and I didn't want to get involved in being a wreck and end up further back. So I was actually lifting to avoid them, but then their draft was keeping me in that group. So it kind of put the tire saving in motion on its own. I noticed with about 8 to go that I could probably make it, as I was only using about 3 or 4%. per lap, and I actually ended with only 2 on the right front and 1% on the right rear.
It looked really difficult to pass out there as well. It seemed like anytime somebody had a good run down on the inside, the outside line would come back with a strong run of momentum exiting the turns and then down the straightaways as well. How tough was it to pass out there tonight?
Yeah, so you nailed that on the head. The 2 corners are completely opposite. The turns 1 and 2, you really want to run more towards the top of the track. There's the racing groove, the gray line on the track is more towards 2nd and 3rd groove on the track. And then entering 3 and 4, people are trying to set themselves up for turn 1 and 2 as it's a little bit faster. And kind of the same as Bristol, I run that a little bit different. I try to pinch the apron all the way down in 3 and 4. So that's actually how I was making most of my passes. But again, like you were saying, on the difficulty level, if I couldn't clear the guy by the front stretch, then he had to run being on the outside, and entering turns 1 and 2, he had the preferred line. So I'd lose it. Everything that I just gained in 3 and 4, I'd lose it in 1 and 2.
Well, congratulations, man. You did everything right, it seems, because here you are. You're in victory lane, 4th win of the season. Do you have anyone you want to give a shout-out to before we let you go celebrate?
Yeah, a few guys. Again, I want to give a big shout-out to everyone over at Juicy J. At one point, we were running nose to tail, all 4 of us. I think we were 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th trying to catch top 5 into the stage. And so, again, PC Panther, Juicy J, NASCAR, big shout-out to them. And honestly, JWoww and Flash 9, those guys put on a heck of a show up there at the front. I was lurking close enough that I could see it, just not close enough that I could be a part of it. This race, really, either one of those guys deserved it. Flash ending up coming up 5th. I guess it would have been his, but luckily on my end, strategy panned out in my direction. But those 2 were definitely the 2 cars to beat here tonight.
Awesome stuff. Congratulations on parking at a victory lane, 4th win of the season, and locking yourself in to the round of 8.
Appreciate it, man.
And that was Kevin Tattersall, folks, founder of Giggity Racing League. New name now, folks. And they're still racing and doing great things over there. And congratulations to all of these playoff drivers that had a great run here tonight. And some of them really needed it, folks, after the wild race that they had at Bristol Motor Speedway. Throwing it down to the M-Race reporter Cameron Norton, driver of the number 1 car. Final thoughts before we sign out.
Just want to say thanks to everybody at Timac Motorsports for a great race car tonight. We were up there just working our way up towards the front and kind of ended up in a bad deal up there at the end, and then we had a pit. But good job to Taddy. Amazing job tonight, buddy. That was amazing. Proud of you.
Thanks, man.
Let's just no problem. Let's just keep grinding. We got one more race until the cut race, and we're gonna do what we can. Our suckiest track, but we're gonna go for it.
Good luck to you at the Charlotte Roval. And now quickly throwing it over to the driver of the number 16 Chevy Camaro, Alex Tesdahl. Alex, sum up the race from your perspective, and what do you think of the first 2 races in the round of 12 so far?
You know, after the amazing run at Bristol, here at Vegas, we were, back to the typical run of luck. We were having top 5 speed, but getting caught up in, incidents, and certain few people wanted to move me up the track every chance they get. So, yeah.
Great job by both of you tonight. Sorry you didn't get the finishes you were hoping for at Vegas, but at least you both did well at Bristol. Both top 10 finishes there, top 5 even for Alex in the 16. And once again, would like to say congratulations to Kevin Tattersall, driver of the number 54, for winning the NOSSCAR Gaming 300 here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway here tonight. Thank you to everybody who tuned in and joined us on the NOSSCAR Series Racing YouTube channel. It was the very first night for the NOSSCAR MotorMaster Series playoffs. The first 2 round of 12 playoff races are in the history books for the 2021 MotorMaster Series season right here on NASCAR Heat 5. Xfinity cars on the preset sliders, and it's been one wild roller coaster ride since the start of the season. We are now done 31 of the 36 races, and we've crowned a lot of different race winners, a lot of different pole winners, stage winners, all different kinds of things. We've set new records. We've seen home track heroes and home track triumphs. We've seen underdog heroes go on to win races. We've seen powerhouse drivers add on to their already impressive records. We've seen a little bit of it all here in 2021. What will we see in the last 5 races of the season? Keep tuning in on MotorMaster Mondays to find out. Hit that like and subscribe button and follow all the NASCAR MotorMaster Series action. Good night, everybody, and stay fast, folks.